Republicans don't want this on their plate because it's an election year. Every year is an election year. What year is not an election year? So it's an election year coming up. They don't want to be dealing with it. So I didn't, but I said it's going to have to change the form that it's in. Here's what we've got. Here's what we're building in the government. We are building a case for a continued resolution-like scenario like we have on the so-called budget, which is comical, but a continued resolution. We don't need a budget. What do we need a budget for? Let's just have a resolution that we continue with what we have. Let's just keep doing that. Well, it's what all of Congress has figured out about that is it's a beautiful thing. I'm sure the old timers are walking around Congress saying, man, we should have done this a long time ago. This is the greatest thing in the world. Why? There's no accountability. You try calling your congressman up and say, wait a minute, you said you put out a budget that we were not going to overspend on the EPA by X amount of dollars. And we've gone over that tenfold. I want to know why. There's no accountability because you can't be accountable if you don't have a yardstick by which to measure your veering off the track. We don't have that. Continued resolution. It's a beautiful thing. Hey, suspension, because that's the word, suspend the debt ceiling. Suspension of the debt ceiling is setting us up for a continued suspension. We have gone from hitting a ceiling that's 10 foot up in the air to the sky's the limit. I mean, we don't have any limit. It's a beautiful thing because there's no accountability. How do you even have a debt conversation? How do you even say, well, wait a minute. Congress, you set a debt limit. It is the law. We can't spend more than this. And if we don't get fiscal policy that comes out and says, look, we need to work towards a balanced budget, and we need to pass legislation that in 2025, I'm making up a number, 10 years from now, 2025, we will have a fully effective balanced budget resolution where we are going to not spend more than we have coming in. And we are going to work towards that every year. And that over a period of 30 years, assuming we get some good growth, we are going to see the debt clock running backwards. That's what we need to see, the debt clock running backwards. More importantly, that kind of fiscal policy with a budget every year that not only is developed in the House of Representatives, but goes to the president and gets signed, a real budget, not a continued resolution, and a real debt ceiling. Listen, they're accountability instruments and tools that we get to use. But we're going to get the clock running backwards because growth is going to increase, because that is going to instill an enormous amount of business confidence and Wall Street confidence into the markets and business confidence into the economy and consumer confidence that the uncertainty of everything is being taken away.